For more on the current state of our nation, we are delighted to bring in Republican Mayor Giles of Mesa, Arizona, and Democratic Mayor LaToya Cantrell of New Orleans. Mayor Giles, Mayor Cantrell, welcome to you both. First of all, let me just say how wonderful it is to get a Republican and a Democrat together talking about our nation's policies in a civilized manner. Let's start with the question of crime, because this is something that you know as mayors of major cities here in the United States is at the forefront of people's minds. When we're talking about crime in New Orleans, you have hit a record high, the homicide rate, the greatest in New Orleans out of anywhere. By contrast, Mayor Giles, you are one of the nation's safest cities. What are both of you hoping to hear from when it comes to crime from President Biden tonight? Mayor Cantrell, let's start with you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, and always good to be with my brother, Mayor Giles. As it relates to public safety, and yes, the city of New Orleans, like many cities across our country, just saw an uptick in violent crime, ending year of 2022 with 266 murders in our community, but also understanding that many of those murders had a direct impact in terms of domestic violence, mental health issues, and trauma that we're dealing with in our city. I'm looking to hear from our president just the continued investment. That federal dollar has been instrumental. For example, spending the American Rescue Plan dollars right now, that I'm able to put more tools and resources and focusing on retention and recruitment opportunities for my police department that I was not able to do without the federal dollar. So keeping that partnership going, even as it relates to working with us more U.S. Marshal Services, so that we're making those key arrests and allowing us just more boots on the ground to get the offenders off of our street. Even as it relates to a more robust partnership with ATF, getting guns off the streets of New Orleans. And so I've seen promise, and I'm looking forward to more support coming from the federal government through our president, Joe Biden.
And Mayor Giles, for your part, what would you like to hear on the topic of crime?
Well, I think part of the success that we've seen in Mesa as it relates to violent crimes reflects the lesson to be learned from investing in public safety. Our voters increased sales tax here to allow us to hire more police officers, passed public safety bonds to allow us to build more public safety facilities. As a result of that, we stand out as not having an increase in crime over this last year. So I think, again, the moral of that is when you invest in crime, when you invest in public safety, it bears dividends. Having said that, we are from a border state, and we are definitely seeing an influx of drugs and things that are impacting our community as a transportation hub coming through our city, coming through our state, but they're having a definite impact. So border security, speaking as a border state mayor, I've got to tell you, is got to be a priority and something that I'm hoping that President Biden addresses tonight. But and then mental health. I think my friend Mayor Cantrell mentioned that's got to be first and foremost, one of our the ways that we attack these problems. We have to change the models that we've had. In Mesa, we've been investing in creating a new paradigm where last year, 3,500 911 calls were diverted away from the police department over to mental health professionals. I think that has had a tremendous impact, along with investing in technology. We now have a real-time crime center using the CCTV cameras around our city that's having a dramatic impact in our ability to solve crimes and to use technology to our advantage in fighting crime.
And Mayor Giles, we do expect President Biden to address immigration and potential fixes and solutions as it relates to crime, but also, a path of legal citizenship for so many. What do you want to hear the president address tonight that you think Republicans could get behind when it comes to the topic of immigration? And Mayor Cantrell, we'll jump to you after Mayor Giles answers.
Well, I think we've all come to the obvious conclusion that for there to be immigration reform of any type, it's got to be tied to border security. The Republicans in Congress are not interested in one without the other, and frankly, neither are the Democrats. So I think we all need to just realize that is the way that anything's going to get done on this very important topic. I think both sides are adamant that something needs to be done. And so I'm hoping that we can see some bipartisanship, and we can see some compromise, and we can see some progress. I can tell you, again, speaking as a border state mayor, we are seeing this is absolutely impacting the amount of drugs that are coming into our community. The last 2 months, we've confiscated nearly 1 million fentanyl tablets in my community, and over 200 pounds of methamphetamine. These are drugs that are coming across the border into my city and ultimately into every city in the United States. So again, the motivation, I think, on the part of both Republicans and Democrats is there to see reform in this area. I hope that now it's not just border state mayors that are calling for this reform. I think you've seen Mayor Eric Adams in New York City elevate this to the top of the things that he's talking about. So the political will is there. I hope that they can do something about it.
Mayor Cantrell, what's similar is that your city is also a transit hub, right? A lot of folks come through on the I-10 heading from one part of the country to another. What's your view on how migrants are treated, and what you hope to hear from the president as well on the immigration front?
Well, I think you've heard it too from my brother Mayor. Bottom line is that we do need balance. We have to also ensure that people are respected and dignified when they are here. But we have to have balance, and that's something that I'm hoping that will come out this evening. And it's very important. Again, the quality of life of our communities, of our cities are just at the forefront, and we have to serve the residents in our community, whether they're immigrants or not. And so having the proper resources and services to meet that need are critical. And even as I heard my brother Mayor talk about fentanyl in our community, it's absolutely something that is out of control, I would say, on the streets in our city. And we're doing everything possible. We've been training employees, for example, to utilize Narcan. I had to ensure that 2 of my officers just 2 weeks ago responded to a call and had to be given Narcan. And so this is something that we need focus and attention on right now.
Really appreciate you bringing this to all of us in a very real way for what you're seeing from your communities. We only have about a minute left. I'm wondering, what need does your city have that simply isn't getting any attention? And a question for both of you. We'll start with you, Mayor Cantrell.
Well, I would say that, I take pride in building strong relationships and partnerships with the federal government. The fact that the administration, the president respects mayors, our voices, understands that, hey, it's not about Democrats or Republicans. Hey, it's about mayors, because we have to serve everybody. And so what I'm just hoping is just for continued action and investment to combat climate change. New Orleans is in the forefront of this, and we're rebuilding our city with an eye towards climate resiliency and sustainability. And we need the federal government to continue to be a partner with us on the ground.
Mayor Giles?
Well, amen to everything the Mayor Cantrell just said. I'll throw out another topic. It was, I think, a year or two ago, the president mentioned community colleges and the need that we have maybe for a national college promise program. Workforce development, higher education attainment. These are things that every community in the United States is struggling with. So I'm hopeful that Dr. Biden has been able to influence her husband again, and that we see again a renewed national conversation about the need to support financially our community colleges.
Well, wonderful to have you both, shining a spotlight on some issues that don't get a ton of attention, and also seeing a lot of similarity between what appear to be brother and sister mayors here on CBS News. So we really appreciate both of you chatting with us, Mayor John Giles of Mesa, Arizona, and Mayor LaToya Cantrell of New Orleans. We appreciate it.
Thank you.